Hello everyone. On October 27th, 2018, a 31-year-old man from Tianjin named Leo Little set off for a family vacation in Thailand with his wife and their daughter, who wasn't even 2 years old. Before they left, the family of 3 was brimming with excitement, eagerly anticipating the trip. They even sent a cheerful video to both sets of grandparents to let them know they were safe and sound. But just 2 days later, tragedy struck. Leo's wife, Bright Pearl, drowned in the hotel's swimming pool. On the afternoon of October 30th, 2018, Mr. Strong Benevolence, a seafood restaurant owner in Tianjin, received a devastating call from Leo's family. They told him that his daughter, Bright Pearl, had been in an accident in Thailand and had tragically passed away due to drowning. Hearing this, Mr. Strong and his wife were thrown into a state of shock and panic. Around 8 p.m. that evening, Mr. Strong called his son-in-law, Leo, desperate to understand what had happened. Leo explained that on the night of October 29th, after their daughter had fallen asleep, Bright Pearl went out to the pool to unwind. The two of them swam together for a while, but Bright Pearl, concerned about their daughter, urged Leo to go back inside to check on her. By the time Leo got to the room, he was so exhausted that he dozed off. When he woke up and realized his wife wasn't there, he went looking for her. To his horror, he found her floating in the pool. He frantically pulled her out and called for a local ambulance. But despite his efforts, Bright Pearl couldn't be saved. As Leo recounted the story, Mr. Strong grew uneasy. Something didn't add up. His daughter had been an excellent swimmer since she was 9 years old. How could she drown in a small hotel pool? He pressed Leo for details. How big was the pool? How deep? Were there any cameras around? Were there any witnesses? Leo answered confidently, explaining that they were staying in a private villa-style hotel, so no one else had access. There were no cameras in the villa, and the pool was only 4 meters deep at its deepest point. Though Mr. Strong still had doubts, he wanted to believe his son-in-law. After all, Leo had always been regarded as a model husband. He didn't smoke, drink, or gamble, worked hard at a stable job, and adored his wife. No one had ever seen the couple argue or even raise their voices at each other. On the morning of October 31st, Leo returned to Tianjin with his 1-year-old daughter, Smiley, around 9 a.m. He arrived at his in-law's house. As soon as he stepped through the door, he fell to his knees, bowing repeatedly, overcome with guilt and blaming himself for not bringing Bright Pearl home. He seemed utterly heartbroken. But by lunchtime, Bright Pearl's mother noticed something odd. Leo didn't seem sad at all. In fact, he ate heartily, with a surprising appetite. After the meal, he stepped out to handle some business and didn't return to his in-laws' house until 5 p.m. When he did, he brought along some documents and went into Bright Pearl's room with a man named Third Elder to sign some paperwork, leaving the family to wonder what was really going on. As the family gathered, Third Elder noticed a deep wound on the palm of Leo's right hand. Casually, he asked about it, but Leo froze, his expression shifting, dropping the pen he was holding. He stammered that Bright Pearl had scratched him. Third Elder's instincts kicked in. Something was off. He pressed Leo, asking if there had been any physical altercation with Bright Pearl. Leo quickly denied it, claiming they'd only argued because Bright Pearl thought the hotel he booked was too expensive. When Third Elder asked if Bright Pearl had been injured, Leo hesitated before admitting she had a wound on her neck. Third Elder stopped probing, but doubts gnawed at him. Bright Pearl had never been overly concerned about money. Her family was comfortable, and she wasn't one to fuss over extravagance. Why would she argue with her husband over a hotel? There had to be more to the story. That night, at 11:30 p.m., Leo, Bright Pearl's parents, and 7 other relatives set off for Phuket, Thailand, to handle her funeral arrangements. They arrived in the early hours of November 1st. Third Elder, wary of Leo, pulled 4 relatives aside. away from Leo and Bright Pearl's parents, and shared his suspicions, urging them to keep a close eye on Leo. To stay close, Third Elder volunteered to share a hotel room with him. As soon as they settled in, Leo rushed to Bright Pearl's parents' room, locking the door behind him. He fell to his knees before them, confessing that he had laid hands on Bright Pearl and begging for forgiveness, though he insisted he had nothing to do with her death. From the moment Leo knelt, Mr. Strong sensed something deeply wrong. A gut feeling told him and his wife that their daughter's death was tied to their son-in-law. The next morning, the group visited the hospital morgue. What they saw left them reeling. Bright Pearl's body was covered in wounds and bruises. The forensic report revealed injuries on her arms, chest, shoulders, both eyes, scalp, and neck. Her fifth rib was broken, and her spleen and kidneys were bruised. Yet, the official cause of death was drowning. Seeing the horrific injuries their daughter had endured, the family broke down in tears. Third Elder, now certain Leo was responsible, kept his composure. Instead of confronting Leo directly, he cleverly shifted blame to the hotel, suggesting they report the incident to the police and sue the establishment. To his surprise, Leo agreed. Around 2 p.m., the group went to the police station to file a report. During separate interviews with Leo and Bright Pearl's parents, Mr. Strong voiced his suspicions about his son-in-law. The police then brought Leo into an interrogation room and asked him to remove his shirt, revealing multiple wounds on his right arm. At first, Leo steadfastly denied any involvement in his wife's death. The police, unhurried, patiently pressed on with the interrogation. By 2 a.m. on November 2nd, Leo finally cracked. He confessed that during the incident, he had held Bright Pearl's head underwater in the pool until she stopped moving. Afterward, he returned to their room and sat for half an hour, only calling the hotel reception at 8:50 p.m. to report the accident. After Leo's confession, Mr. Strong was called into the interrogation room, his voice trembling. He confronted his son-in-law, demanding to know why he had harmed Bright Pearl. Leo's response was chillingly cold. "I didn't want to live with her anymore." Bright Pearl's mother, overcome with rage and grief, snapped that if he wanted out, he could have chosen divorce. Why resort to murder? But Leo offered no further explanation, his silence deafening. Mr. Strong could hardly believe it. The son-in-law he had always seen as honest and kind was, in truth, a cruel and cunning monster. As the investigation deepened, Leo's true nature unraveled, revealing a man far different from the facade he'd presented. The victim, Bright Pearl, born in 1989 in Tianjin, was only 29 when the tragedy occurred. An only child, she grew up comfortably, never wanting for anything, thanks to her parents' successful seafood restaurant. After graduating from a university in Yunnan, she returned to Tianjin and landed a job at a financial institution in the peaceful Sea District. Through a colleague's introduction, she met Leo, who was 2 years her senior. His father held a leadership position at a government unit in Tianjin's commerce port, and his family was also well off. Leo had graduated from university in 2011 and, through fortunate connections, secured a job at the Peaceful Sea branch of Tianjin Bank, working as a customer service manager. His workplace was less than 4 kilometers from Bright Pearl's office. Their first meeting, however, was far from love at first sight. Leo's ordinary appearance didn't catch her attention. But fate intervened when another colleague reintroduced them. This time, Bright Pearl felt it was meant to be, as if destiny had brought them together. Soon, they embarked on a whirlwind romance. During their courtship, Leo was the picture of devotion, picking Bright Pearl up after work and showering her with care. Their bond grew quickly, and in May 2016, they tied the knot. In February 2017, their daughter, Smiley, was born. Both families were thrilled with the match, seeing the couple as perfectly suited. For their wedding, Leo's parents gifted them a house, while Bright Pearl's parents provided a dowry of $800 Tuen. In their married life, Leo appeared flawless. He didn't smoke, drink, or gamble, and was a dedicated family man. After the wedding, he doted on Bright Pearl, especially during her pregnancy, tending to her every need. Even during their dating days, Leo never spoke ill of Bright Pearl in front of her parents, earning their complete trust. So much so that they handed over the $800 dowry to him to manage. Bright Pearl, too, entrusted her entire salary card to her husband, confident in his care. In April 2018, Leo proposed buying a house in a school district and suggested a fake divorce to reduce the down payment. When both sets of parents found out, they disapproved, insisting the couple remarry immediately. To support the purchase, Bright Pearl's parents contributed an additional $600,000, and Leo's parents chipped in 1 million yuan, enabling the couple to buy the house in cash. But after the case came to light, police uncovered that Leo had only paid a 670,000 yuan deposit and registered the house solely in his name. The remaining funds, including the 800,000 yuan dowry from Bright Pearl's family, had been squandered by Leo. The investigation revealed even darker secrets. Since January 2017, Leo had quit his job at the bank and become unemployed, drifting without a home. He hid this from his family and friends, lying that he was working other jobs. Even Bright Pearl was unaware of his unemployment. With too much time on his hands, Leo became engrossed in the world of online live streaming, transforming into a big boss in live stream rooms. Starting in July 2018, he began funneling money to live stream companies to impress female streamers, sometimes sending a few hundred yuan, other times tens of thousands. In September 2018 alone, his credit card spending reached 600 yuan. From October 2 to October 5th, in just 4 days, he burned through 500 yuan. The police questioned one of the streamers he supported, who revealed that Leo had entered her live stream room and showered her with over 300 yuan in gifts, hoping to win her affection. He even claimed he was divorced. While she accepted the gifts, she rejected his advances. Enraged by her refusal, Leo sought revenge. He contacted the second and third ranked streamers, ordering them to poach her audience and sabotage her live stream career. Despite his efforts, she still refused him. In August 2018, about 2 months before the murder, Leo sent the streamer a package labeled as fruit, but inside was an LV handbag worth 700 yuan. 2 months later, close to the time of the crime, she decided to cut all ties with him and return the bag, untouched, to an address at a bank in Tianjin. Further investigation turned up hundreds of pornographic videos and nude chat logs on Leo's computer, revealing his use of illicit online services. The police suspected he had poured vast sums into supporting other streamers on shady livestream platforms. In the end, every penny of the family's wealth had been frittered away on these reckless pursuits. On October 10th, 2018, Leo told Bright Pearl he was heading to Beijing for a training course, but in reality, he traveled to Fuzhou to meet another female streamer. Leo was a man consumed by vanity, a reckless spendthrift who flaunted designer clothes and frequented lavish venues, squandering hundreds of thousands of yuan on other women to feed his inflated ego. His extravagant lifestyle drained the family's finances, emptying their bank accounts and maxing out their credit cards. When the truth came to light, their joint account held a mere 50 yuan. Even the fateful Thailand trip was funded by Bright Pearl's credit card. Unaware of her husband's infidelity and financial ruin, Bright Pearl joined him on the trip, unknowingly stepping into a trap he had set to sustain his opulent lifestyle. With his banking background and knowledge of insurance, Leo devised a sinister plan to seize wealth. He secretly purchased multiple life insurance policies for Bright Pearl, totaling 270,000 yuan in premiums, with a payout of 76 million yuan, all naming him as the beneficiary. Neither Bright Pearl nor her family knew anything about these policies until the case unraveled. Later, Leo suggested the Thailand vacation. This time, Bright Pearl's parents didn't object. They even sent her 10 Awu for travel expenses, urging the couple to take good care of Smiley. But just days later, they received the devastating news. In hindsight, Bright Pearl's parents and relatives recalled troubling signs. Once, at a family gathering, Leo refused to attend, leaving Bright Pearl to wipe away tears in secret. Another time, while Bright Pearl was cooking for Smiley, the toddler bumped her head and cried inconsolably. But Leo remained glued to his phone, indifferent to his daughter's distress. Bright Pearl had confided in friends that their marriage was on the brink of collapse, though she still hoped to salvage it. She revealed that Leo's temper could flare dramatically, to the point of defying his own parents. In one fit of rage, he had smashed their car's windshield. Yet, Bright Pearl kept these conflicts hidden from her parents, sharing only good news and sparing them her sorrows. And then, the unthinkable tragedy struck a heartbreak no one could have foreseen. In the aftermath, Bright Pearl's parents had one sole demand: that the court sentence Leo to death. On December 24th, 2019, the Phuket Provincial Prosecutor's Office in Thailand brought Leo to trial for intentional murder, based on the applicable laws. At the trial, Leo backtracked on his confession, claiming he had killed Bright Pearl in a fit of rage. The Thai court sentenced him to life imprisonment. But in Thailand, life sentences can be reduced, prompting Bright Pearl's parents to appeal once more, demanding the death penalty. Their persistence paid off on April 27th, 2021. The Thai court sentenced Leo to death. Today, little Smiley lives with her maternal grandparents. She flinches at loud noises, and when relatives ask about the Thailand trip, she says it wasn't fun because she was scared her parents would fight again. Her words bringing tears to everyone's eyes. Now, this innocent child, too young to fully grasp her loss, has been left without both her mother and father, carrying a pain she cannot yet comprehend. This tragic case reveals a harsh truth. Blind trust in a partner can lead to devastating consequences. When trust is absolute, people often lose their vigilance, failing to notice strange behaviors or subtle changes in their partner's actions. When the truth finally surfaces, those who trusted blindly are left shattered, grappling with betrayal, loss, and an inability to forgive. In marriage, striking a balance between trust and caution is crucial. While we should believe in our partners, we must also stay observant and discerning to ensure our love isn't exploited or betrayed. This balance can shield us from the kind of heartbreak and suffering seen in this case.